And we're back for another segment here on Cornstalks and Sports Talk on AM 950 KOEL and KOEL.com with me, UNI Insider for Town Square Media, Elliot Clough at Elliot Clough on Twitter. Jillian Worthen is an All-American and state champion wrestler here in Iowa, and she represents Eastern Iowa out of Union High School in LaPorte City. She loves the sport and UNI so much, she made it her goal to be the first woman to ever commit to wrestling for the Panthers. She had quite the message for UNI Athletic Director David Harris on Twitter a few nights ago. She's kind enough to join us this morning. Jillian, thanks so much for hopping on. This is your first radio interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on and hear a little bit more about your video. And so tell us, I mean, what inspired you to put it together, put it up on Twitter for the whole world to see?
Well, so we just got sanctioned this past year at state, and I'm gonna be a sophomore, so I'm gonna be graduating here in a couple years, and I just didn't want them to sit back and fall behind. I want them to get on it right as soon as possible.
So did anybody inspire you to put it together? Did you talk to your parents or maybe a coach and say, hey, do I want, or should I do this? Anything like that?
Well, I wrote the letter originally myself, and then I reached out to Allison Schwab and my coach and my dad saying if I should send it to him or anything. My dad's like, you should make a video and post it on your social media because you never know, it could blow up. And now it has like almost 20,000 views on Twitter.
That is crazy. Did you think that was going to happen when you put it up?
No.
So what were you expecting when you would put it up? Were you just kind of crossing your fingers saying, well, I hope he sees it, or what were you thinking?
Well, at first I was thinking like he's not gonna see this because like I only know like Allison and Becca Roper, so I only thought like they were gonna share it, and then that's it. Nothing happened, but I got like 36 or some quote tweets of people saying they need to get on it and stuff, and then he actually responded to me last night saying he would like talk with me, which I like ran downstairs screaming last night. I was so excited.
That's awesome. But did you get to talk with him yet, David Harris?
Not yet. He did get my contact information, so I'm gonna be waiting to talk to him.
Very cool. You'll have to let us know how that turns out. We're excited for you. So what about wrestling at UNI? What about the Panthers? What about UNI makes you only want to wrestle at UNI?
Well, I know past like state champs and people from my school have gone to UNI. Like that's kind of our history. But so our club practices there, and I love their mats. I just love stepping on those mats to get better every day. And I've listened to Doug Schwab like talking interviews and stuff, and he's so smart. I feel like I could learn a lot from him and grow my wrestling with him in my corner or whoever's gonna coach in my corner. And I have thought about some other colleges that have girls programs, but like I told my dad one time, I was like, I don't care if they have a girls program or not. I'm still gonna wrestle there, like in the RTC or whatever. And the mats feel like home, I guess. Like that's where I have to be, and that's where I want to be, and that's like where I'm gonna make jumps throughout my whole wrestling career.
So you want to be coached by Coach Schwab? Do you think they put the two teams together?
I don't know. They have some other like assistant coaches that are really smart too, like B-Rob or Pew or Roper. But I would just be happy with whoever I end up with because they're gonna have a girls program either way.
Have you been able to talk with Coach Schwab at all since you got the video up?
Not since I've got the video up, but I've talked to him about it in the past, and he's on board for girls wrestling. I was like, it was actually right after Iowa came out with their girls team. I was like, so when are you guys gonna have one? He's like, I want one, but like the AD and board haven't approved it yet. So I know Doug wants girls wrestling at least. So.
And that's important. He's a good guy. He's very passionate about the sport too. Any other wrestlers for the UNI program? I saw Parker Kakaisen retweeted it, and some of the other guys got some interaction with it too. Any of them reach out?
No, they haven't yet. I was actually kind of surprised that some of them retweeted it because I didn't know if they would see it either. And I'm glad that they want a women's program too. Not like they're not selfish or anything.
Sure. Have you been able to talk with them before? I know Coach Schwab is quite a talkative guy. He's not afraid to share his thoughts on anything. But and I'm a big fan of Parker and some of the other guys there. Have you talked with them at all? Maybe talked about wrestling or anything at all?
I've talked with Parker a little bit about like I congratulated him at being an All-American and stuff, and we're talking about doing like individuals together to like wrestle and stuff and work on stuff. And they have their practices before ours, so like they would high five me and say hi and like talk with us and talk to the other kids.
So we're talking with Jillian Worthen from Union High School in LaPorte City. She's an All-American and state champion wrestler, and she wants to wrestle for the Panthers at UNI. What about wrestling that has hooked you? I know you said that you've wanted to be a wrestler at UNI for about 6 years now. How long have you been doing it? And what about the sport makes you love it so much?
This is going to be my 6th year wrestling. I'm going into it actually this year. And I actually started when I was little, but I didn't really take it seriously. Actually, I quit and then I came back to it when I was 10. And then I started to like get back into it. And then when I was like 12, 13, I actually started to like love it. And like, I guess what I love about it is like working hard, and then like you get to see how hard you've worked like through your competition. And I also like making like close bonds with the people that you meet on dual teams and stuff. And I work hard enough that I can love it, because if you're gonna wrestle, you have to love it, because if you don't love it, then wrestling's not for you.
Tell me more about that.
What I do is I work as hard as I can in the practice room, and then I just go out, have fun, win or lose. I just work as hard as I can and compete as hard as I can and just have fun, especially on dual teams. And that's why I love it.
So you get to officially represent Union High School this year for the first time, right?
Second time. I will be a sophomore.
Got it. Okay. And you won state in your first time ever doing it. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the coolest thing about being a state champion as a freshman?
Probably the finals, because like me and my opponent were both freshmen going into the finals of like new weights, and so I think we're both pretty excited that we could prove like it gets harder the more girls come in, because we've been doing it longer than probably maybe some of the juniors, seniors, so we have more mat time, and we'll be bringing a new level of competition, especially next year and the coming years, because there's girls I've been on dual teams with that are pretty tough.
So you've been wrestling for a while now, officially for your high school. It'll be the second year coming up. Were you just wrestling for clubs before?
Yes.
Okay.
And middle school a little bit.
Okay. So were you wrestling with the boys in middle school?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, girl. Were you kicking some butt there too?
Yeah, I only lost 2 matches my 8th grade year, and I actually wrestled a little bit JV varsity this year.
Wow, good for you. That's really cool. So despite being from Iowa, I know very little about wrestling. What do you think that expanding the UNI wrestling program to women would do for the sport?
I think it add a lot of growth, like numbers wise. Like this year we had 700 girls, and I feel like we could get more, especially with like new and more opportunities opening up. Like, cause I know like not just me, I just don't want to be a Panther. I actually posted like a TikTok of me wanting to be a Panther, and 2 girls commented like, "Hey, I'm waiting on that girls team and stuff." And there's others that are like saying that, "Hey, I want to be part of Iowa State," but like I don't know if like they have the voice to, so I'm just gonna speak for everybody, especially me, because I'm very, very passionate about making a difference and helping out women's wrestling.
Very cool. Good for you. I had another question regarding wrestling at UNI. And I'm forgetting what it was, and I'll just edit this out later. Oh, West Gym. Have you been to a duel or anything at West Gym?
Yes. Hold on, go downstairs. Yes, I've been to West Gym a few times. I've been and McLeod Center. I've been to West Gym a couple for duels, and then War at West Gym. I've been there.
Very cool. And did that inspire you too and say, man, I want to be in this environment?
Yeah, I love like the packed crowd and the UNI like fan community. They're so awesome. They're actually kind of like our school, like our fans.
Have you, so with the amount of support that you've gotten, and I know you said you didn't expect it, what's the coolest thing that you've had happen in the last few days? Anybody in particular reach out to you for maybe one of these national women's wrestling things, or anybody in the UNI community really inspire you and make you want to be there even more?
Well, there's been a few people that have reached out like from other states saying like they really like that I stepped up and said something, because like they want their states to do that and like grow it in their states. And I also we're thinking of ways, if they do decide to have a women's program, to help fundraise for it.
Very cool. Good for you. Also, well, I guess before we get to that, again, we're talking with Jillian Worthen from Union High School, All-American and state champion wrestler. She wants to wrestle for the Panthers when she reaches college. I've seen some features on you. Obviously, it's your Twitter name too, Monster. Tell us a little bit about where that came from. And do you like the nickname? And is it something that you like to maybe attach yourself to when you're on the mat?
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely more intimidating when people hear that. I actually got it from my dad when I was little. Like, I'd destroy everything when I was little, like tear stuff apart. And so he'd call me a little monster. And so it's stuck with me through my childhood. And then when I started wrestling, it really popped out. And it's like my persona, so to speak. Like, I have shirts and stuff. And like, I guess it's my brand now. But I think it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, might have some NIL deals coming your way with that brand. Sound like a WWE wrestler too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not your thing, but you just placed 7th nationally too. At a national competition. That's how you got that All-American title. Where was that competition at? Can you tell us a little bit more about what that was like, wrestling some of the best girls in the country?
Yeah. The tournament's called Fargo, or the U.S. Marine Corps Nationals. It's actually probably the toughest freestyle tournament in the country, and there's actually some really tough competition. And last year I was an 8th grader, and so I think I went 1 and 2, so I didn't get a chance to place. But there's girls that I know that are really good that also they've gotten beat out and they didn't get a chance to place. But winning my blood round match, because I actually lost my first match, and then I won 4 on the backside to place. Winning my blood round match felt really good because I lost it the year before. And so coming the next day, I was super excited. And then I had the chance to wrestle for 7th and 8th, and that later that night. And then they shut off all the lights and they had spotlights. It's pretty awesome. And then I was, I think, the 3rd one wrestling for 7th and 8th, and I teched her in under a minute.
I don't know if you saw the article that we got up on the KOEL website. We tagged that video in there. I watched it for about 5 seconds. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna put this in there. And
Yeah.
if you missed it again, you can check it out on the KOEL website. Jillian Worthen, she doesn't just want to be a UNI Panther. She has the credentials to be a UNI Panther. Jillian, we're rooting you on. And if there's anything we can do to help, we will definitely do it. We're excited to hear about your conversation with UNI Athletic Director David Harris. You'll have to tell us about that. She is Jillian Worthen from from Union High School. Not yet, from Union High School in LaPorte City, and she wants to wrestle for the Panthers. Jillian, thank you so much for hopping on. And again, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.